Hello students. So in this class I want to start the discussion of the solutions for the questions in the assignment in expansion of solids. Look at the question number 1. So steel rails are laid for railroad at a temperature of 35 degrees centigrade. How much gap must be left between each standard 15-meter long rail section and next? The rail should just touch when the temperature rises to 107 degrees centigrade. So let L denote the length of each rail. If delta L is the elongation of each rail when temperature increases in the maximum possible range, the elongation will take place at both the ends of the rod. That means if delta L is the actual increase in length of each rail, and L denotes the original length of each rail. That means this one end of the rod will project to the right by distance delta L by 2. The other end of the rail will project to the left side by distance delta L by 2. That means the increase in length or elongation is distributed equally for both ends. Same way the adjacent rail, one end of the adjacent rail also projects to the left side by distance delta L by 2 and to the right side by delta L by 2. That means the gap that should be left, this is one rail here, this is the adjacent rail. So the gap that should be left in between the two rails should be equal to delta L by 2 plus delta L by 2, that is delta L. That means the gap that should be left is equal to the maximum possible increase in length of each rail when temperature varies by the maximum possible amount. So increase the length, you can write alpha into original length into increase in temperature. Here alpha is expressed in per degree centigrade, but temperatures are expressed in degree Fahrenheit. So you have to convert the temperature difference from Fahrenheit scale to centigrade scale. So temperature on centigrade scale divided by 100. So temperature on Fahrenheit scale minus 32 by 180. Tc is the temperature on centigrade scale at the initial temperature on centigrade. Tf is the initial temperature on Fahrenheit scale. So in the final temperature on centigrade scale, we denote by Tc dash, and final temperature on Fahrenheit scale by Tf dash. So subtract one by the other. So change in temperature, Tf dash minus Tf by 180 is equal to Tc dash minus Tc by 100. That means change in temperature on centigrade scale. So the change in the temperature on centigrade scale, right, delta Tc can be done 100 by 180 times corresponding change in temperature on Fahrenheit scale. That means numerical value of change in temperature on centigrade scale is 100 by 180 times the numerical value of change in temperature on Fahrenheit scale. Here when you subtract this equation from this equation, 32 by 180 gets cancelled. So change 100 by 180, you can write as 5 by 9, cancel 20. Change in temperature on Fahrenheit scale is 107 minus 35. So 5 by 9. So that will be 72. That is 5 into 8. Or change in temperature on centigrade scale can be taken to be equal to 40 degrees centigrade. 5 into 9. 5 into 8. That is 40 degrees centigrade. Of course, change in temperature on Kelvin scale will also be numerically same, 40 degree Kelvin. So alpha is 12 into 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. Length of each rail is 15 meters. And increase in temperature is 40 degree centigrade. Come on, those who want to copy the solution of the problem can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So you get 7.2 millimeters or 0.72 centimeters is the answer. So those who want to copy the solution of the problem, they can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for the question number 1, which I just discussed, the second option is answer, 0.72 centimeters. Come on, look at the next question. Same model problem was given in one of the previous entrance exam papers. See, look at a metal rod having a linear coefficient of expansion 2 in 10 power minus 5 per degree centigrade has a length 1 meter at 20 degree centigrade. The rod will contract by 0.1 millimeter when the temperature is. So the rod will contract when temperature decreases. The final length will be less than the initial length. Change in length we denote by delta L. If L is the original length and L dash is the new length, that means the final length will be less than the initial length by 0.1 millimeters. That means initial length is more than the final length when temperature decreases by 0.1 millimeter. For delta L, that is L dash minus L, you can write minus 0.1 millimeter, and 1 millimeter you can write it as 10 power minus 3 meter. So delta L you can take minus 10 power minus 4 meters. For original length L equal to 1 meter. The initial temperature on centigrade scale I denote by small t, 20 degree centigrade. You have to find the final temperature T dash. So you can write coefficient of linear expansion alpha equal to delta L by L into delta T, or delta T you can write. So delta L by L into alpha. You can substitute the values now. Delta L you can take minus 10 power minus 4 meter. L is 1 meter. And alpha is 2 into 10 power minus 5 per degree centigrade. So units of length get cancelled on the right side. So delta T, the change in temperature, you can write T dash minus T. T is the original temperature, T dash is new temperature. So that will be minus of 10 power 5 into 10 power minus 4 degree centigrade by 2. So you get minus 10 by 2 or minus 5 degree centigrade. And you can substitute T equal to 20 degree centigrade. So T dash you can write 20 degree centigrade plus minus 5 degree centigrade. So temperature, new temperature T dash of the rod has to be 15 degrees centigrade. So those who want to copy the solution of the problem, they can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So rod will contract by 0.1 millimeter when the temperature is changed to 15 degrees centigrade. So for question number 2, which I just discussed now, fourth option is the answer, 15 degrees centigrade. Look at the next question here. A steel tape gives correct reading at 20 degrees centigrade. It is used at 40 degrees centigrade and measure the distance between 2 points as 10 meters. The coefficient of linear expansion of steel is 12 into 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. The actual distance between these 2 points, or those 2 points, is. So measured distance between the 2 points are the length measured by the scale or tape denoted by L, that is 10 meters. So delta T, that is change in temperature above that particular temperature at which the scale is correct. Scale is correct at temperature T, but the scale is used at temperature T dash. Here T dash is the temperature at which the scale is used, and small t represents temperature at which the scale is correct. So temperature changes from 20 degrees centigrade to 40 degrees centigrade. So actual length of the object measured by the scale, when the scale is at temperature T dash, can be written L into 1 plus alpha into T dash minus T. Well, L is the measured length of the object at the temperature T dash, which is 10 meters here. Second right, alpha equal to 12 into 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade, and T dash minus T is 20 degrees centigrade. Units of temperature gets cancelled. So this you can try to simplify further. So you get 10 plus 0.0024. So 10.0024 meters or 100.24 centimeters. So those who want to copy the solution of the problem, they can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So I just discussed the problem number 3 here. That is the first option is the answer, I think. Look at the next question here. This problem is also based on one of special cases I have discussed earlier. 2 rods, I am going to read the problem number 4. 2 rods A and B have constant difference in length of 20 centimeter at all temperatures. The respective linear coefficients are 0.4012 K and 0.4018 K. The initial lengths are. So alpha for A is equal to 0.4012 per degree Kelvin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 digits after decimal. So this you can write 12 into 10 power minus 6 per degree Kelvin. The coefficient of linear expanded material of second rod B is 0.4018 per degree Kelvin. After decimal here also you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digits. So you can write it as 18 into 10 power minus 6 per degree Kelvin. As I discussed, one of special cases Also, difference the length of two rods of different materials will be same at all temperatures. The ratio of the original lengths, initial lengths is equal to inverse ratio of their coefficients of linear expansion. That is difference the length of rods A and B at higher temperature T dash will be same as the difference in the length of rods A and B at the initial temperature. So increase in the length of rod A, temperature changes same as increase the length of the rod B. Increase the length can be written as alpha into original length into increase in temperature. Increase in temperature is same for both the rods. So rate of the initial length of A and B can be taken as the inverse ratio of their coefficients of linear expansion. Alpha of B by alpha 18 into 10 power minus 6 by 12 into 10 power minus 6. So length of the rod A can be taken 3 by 2 times the length of B. It is given that the length of A is more than length of B. It is given that difference in the length of A and B remains constant at 20 centimeter at all temperatures. So difference in the initial lengths of A and B can also be taken as equal to 20 centimeters. So those who want to copy the solution of the problem, take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So you can solve the equation 1 and 2 to find LA and LB. As you can substitute the value of LA from first equation, which is given as 3 by 2 LB into the second equation on the left side. So you get what I have written on the right side at the top. You get LB. From first equation again you can second find LA. So finally get lengths of A and B as 60 centimeter and 40 centimeter. So if you want to copy this simplification, you can take a pause and copy the calculation. So for problem number 4, the fourth option will be the answer. Then look at the next question here. A thin brass sheet at 10 degree centigrade and a thin steel sheet at 20 degree centigrade have same surface area. The common temperature at which both have the same area is. The coefficient of linear expansion of brass and steel are respectively 19 in 10 power minus 4 per degree centigrade and 11 into 10 power minus 4 degree centigrade. So the initial area is same at different initial temperatures. To find the final common temperature at which both have the same area. So the coefficient of air expansion of the material solid, we can write beta equal to change in the surface area by original surface area into change in temperature, or fractional change in the surface area, that is change in surface area originally, beta into change in temperature. So this beta you can write nearly as 2 alpha. Change in temperature you can write T dash minus T. T dash is the final temperature, T is the initial temperature. Or you can write T final minus T initial. Here at the initial temperature for first sheet, that is brass sheet, is 10 degree centigrade, and the initial temperature 20 degree centigrade for the steel sheet. Initial area is same, A is same. And we have to find the final common temperature at which the final areas will be equal. So when the final area is same, initial area is also same, change in area is also Same for both the sheets for same initial area A. That means fractional change in area can be equated for the two sheets. So delta A by A for the first sheet, that is made up of bars, 2 alpha for material of the brass into final temperature denoted by Tf or T dash minus initial temperature of brass sheet is 10 degrees centigrade. I am using this equation for each sheet separately. So for the second sheet, which also has same original surface area and same final area, that means fractional change in area will be same for both at common temperature T dash. So that is equal to 2 into fractional change in surface area of second sheet. 2 into alpha for second sheet is made up of steel, not alpha. Final common temperature T dash, initial temperature of second sheet is 20 degrees centigrade. For first sheet, brass sheet, initial temperature 10 degrees centigrade. For second sheet or steel sheet, initial temperature 20 degrees centigrade. Let T dash is the final common temperature at which their surface areas again become equal. So 2 we can cancel. Alpha for brass is given to be about 19 in 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. Alpha for steel can be written as 11 into 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. The final T dash is the final common temperature at which the areas of two sheets become equal. The initial temperature for second sheet is 20 degrees centigrade. You can copy down. If you want to copy the working, you can take a pause and copy down the working. You can take 10 power minus 6, cancel both sides. You can solve for T dash here. So T dash into 19 minus 11 is equal to 19 into 10. That is 190 degrees centigrade. 11 into 20. That will be 20 degrees centigrade. So you can write 190. So here 19 into 10, 190 minus 11 into 20, 220. Come on, copy down and simplify it. So you get T dash negative minus 30 by 8, 15 by 4, minus 3.75 degrees centigrade. So those who want to copy the calculation part, please take a pause and copy the calculation. That means both the sheets will have same surface area again when both are at a common temperature of minus 3.75 degrees centigrade. This problem was given in one of the previous entrance exam papers in the medical entrance. So for question number 5, first option is the answer. So look at the next question here, question number 6. Two identical rectangular strips, one of copper and the other of steel, are riveted together to form a bimetallic strip. The coefficient of linear expansion of copper is greater than that of steel. On heating, this strip will. So as I discussed earlier, if you have a bimetallic strip with the two rods of same metal, different metals with same dimensions, so joined like this, side by side, adjacent to each other. Then when heated, the final length will be more for the length which has greater value of coefficient of linear expansion. Given the coefficient of linear expansion of copper greater than the coefficient of linear expansion of steel. So same original length or same dimensions when heated, elongation or increased length for copper is more than the increased length or elongation for steel. Therefore, the rod which has elongates more will have greater final length. So the rod will bend in the form of arc of a circle. The length of the outer arc will be larger than the length of the inner arc. Here see center of curvature of the arc. So the metal with greater coefficient of linear expansion will expand more, will have greater final length. So it lies on the outer side. That means the metal of greater coefficient of linear expansion means copper will bend on the convex side when heated. This I discussed one of special cases also. So for the question number 6 which I just discussed now, second option will be the answer. The strip will bend with copper on the convex side, on the outer side. So now look at the next question, question number 7. A thin wire of length x is heated from 30 degrees centigrade to 50 degrees centigrade. Length increases by 2%. The thin plate of length 3x and breadth x made of same material is heated from 30 degrees centigrade to 70 degrees centigrade. The percentage change in its area is. So as I already explained how to calculate percentage changes. Coefficient of linear expansion alpha, you can write for change in fractional change in length per unit change in temperature, or fractional change in length we write alpha into change in the temperature. So percentage change in length is equal to actual change in length by original length into 100%. That you can write alpha into change in the temperature into 100%. So in general, percentage change in length or percentage increase in length and solid is heated uniformly. Can write alpha into increase in temperature in 100%. So in the first case, percentage increase in length, can write alpha into change in temperature is 50 minus 30 degrees centigrade. Temperature increases from 30 degrees centigrade to 50 degrees centigrade into 100%. And that is given to be 2%. So from this you can find alpha. So alpha you get 2 by 100 into 20 degrees centigrade. So alpha will be 10 power minus 3 per degree centigrade. In second case, in the same way I explained already about how to calculate the percentage changes. Percentage increase in length we can write alpha into increase in temperature into 100%. In the same way, percentage increase in the area can write beta into increase in temperature into 100%. So percentage increase in area in the second case, that is a thin metal plate. The metal plate in second case is made up of same material as that of the wire in the first case. So alpha will be same in both the cases. So percentage increase in area, can write beta into increase in temperature into 100%. Beta is the coefficient of aerial expansion. That you can write 2 times the coefficient of linear expansion. Alpha is 2 in power minus 3 per degree. So beta I can take 2 in 10 power minus 3 per degree. Second case, temperature increase from 30 degree centigrade to 70 degree centigrade. So increase in temperature 70 minus 30 into 100%. You simplify this, you get the answer as 8%. So if you want to copy the working, please take a pause and copy the working. So for question number 8, third option is answer. Then you see the next question, question number is, for question number 7 which I just discussed, third option is answer. Next you see the question number 8. A pendulum clock is having a period of 2 seconds at 20 degree centigrade. The coefficient of linear expansion of the clock is 2.02 in 10 power minus 5 per degree centigrade. So when the temperature rises to 70 degree centigrade, then you have to find the gain or loss in time in one oscillation. When temperature of the pendulum clock increases, as explained earlier, the pendulum clock runs slower and loses time. The fractional change in the time period, delta t by t. Delta t is actual change in the time period. T is the original time period. The original time period is given to be 2 seconds. That is equal to half alpha into change in the temperature, delta t. So here alpha is given to be 2.02 into 10 power minus 5 per degree centigrade. Change in temperature, delta T, will be final temperature 70 degree centigrade minus initial temperature 20 degree centigrade. So you get the fractional change in the time period, delta T by T. So you get 1.01 into 10 power minus 5 into 50. So actual change in the time period, that is time lost in one oscillation. When the temperature pendulum clock increases above this particular temperature at which it shows correct time, the pendulum clock runs slower because length increases, time period increases. That means it takes more time for each oscillation, runs slower. So time loss in one oscillation can be written as delta t. That is change in time period. That you can write, you can take t to the right side. T into 1.01 into 5 into 10 power minus 4. So t is our true time period, which is 2 seconds. So this can be simplified further. Get 1.01 into 10 power minus 3 seconds. Now coefficient of linear expansion alpha, and write change in length by original length into change in temperature. So ratio of increase in length to the original length, you can write alpha into change in temperature. Delta small t denote the change in the temperature. So here alpha is given to 1.2.02 to 10 power minus 5 per unit. Change in the temperature 70 minus 20. So that you can simplify it further. Or you get 1.0 and 10 power minus 3. So both the second option, third option are correct. Therefore, you can say fourth option is the answer. So for question number 8, which I just discussed, the fourth option is the answer. So those who want to copy the calculation, please take a pause and copy this calculation part. So look at the question number 9, which I have discussed already about this in one of the special cases. The temperature of uniform rod is slightly increased by theta. Its moment of inertia about a perpendicular bisector. As I told you, fractional change in the moment of inertia is same as the fractional change in the area, or 2 times the fractional change in length, 2 alpha delta t. So delta I you can write 2 alpha into I into delta t. Delta t is denoted by theta. So I am not explaining this particular question in a detailed way because I have already discussed this calculation for this case, for this problem in one of the special cases before I have shown you the assignment. So look at the question number 10. Which of the following statements is wrong? Coefficient of expansion of inverse steel is very small. Hence it is used to make pendulums of clocks, metal tapes and balance wheels in watches. So first statement is correct. That means here I have listed all the factual information related to the applications of expansion of solids which you are expected to know or remember. So statement 1 is correct. Coefficient of expansion of platinum and glass are very nearly equal, hence platinum is used to flow views in glass. That is also true. The value of alpha for platinum is almost same as the value of alpha for glass. Therefore, in the preparation of glass rods, a thin wire of platinum is fused into the glass so that the glass rod does not break due to uneven expansion inside and outside, because the wire that is fused into the glass has same coefficient of expansion as that of glass. So second statement is also true. Third one, the expansion of steel is equal to that of concrete, so steel rods are used in RCC. That is also true. So 1, 2, 3, all the first 3 statements are correct, and you are expected to know or remember these applications for expansion of solids. So fourth option will be the answer, because you are asked which of the following statements is wrong. There is no statement which is wrong here, so none of the above is answer. That is fourth option. Now look at the next question, question number 11. Which of the following statements is wrong? To pull the brass disc from a steel ring which fits exactly into it, the combination must be cooled. Now you have to know one thing. The coefficient of linear expansion for brass is more than the coefficient of linear expansion for steel. That you can see in the tables you've given in the textbook. You are given the values of alpha for some of the standard metals. The value of alpha for brass is about 18 into 10 power minus 6, or some books they write 19 into 10 power minus 6 per unit. The value of alpha for steel is about approximately 12 into 10 power minus 6. Not necessarily that you should remember these values, but only thing is you better know that the coefficient of linear expansion for alpha is more than the value of alpha for steel. So, if you have a brass disc which is fitted onto a steel ring, the brass disc, suppose, fits exactly into a steel ring. If you want to pull out the brass disc, suppose if the combination is heated, because alpha for brass is more than alpha for steel. So increase in the circumference for perimeter of brass will be more than the increase in circumference or perimeter of steel ring. That means the brass disc expands more compared to steel for same original length. Therefore, when heated, the brass disc will fit into the steel ring more tightly. That means it will become more difficult to pull out the brass disc from steel ring if the combination is heated. Because the brass expands, the disc will expand more. The circumference or perimeter of the disc will expand more compared to the circumference or perimeter of ring. So therefore, the disc will fit more tightly into the ring. Cannot pull out the disc. So, but when they are cooled, as you know, change in length of the solid, when temperature of solid changes, alpha into original length into change in temperature. So when temperature is decreased, decrease in length can be written as minus delta L. That is alpha into original length into minus delta T. Minus delta T is the decrease in temperature. So when temperature is decreased, decrease in length can be written as alpha into original length to decrease in temperature. So alpha for brass is more than alpha for steel. So when the combination is cooled, the perimeter of the brass disc will contract more. That means the decrease in length. Here decrease in length means decrease in the perimeter. The brass disc will be larger than the decrease or fall in the perimeter of the steel ring. That means the brass disc will contract more. The perimeter of the brass disc will contract more compared to the perimeter of steel ring. So when the brass disc contracts more than the steel ring, then the disc becomes loose inside the ring. Then it will be easier to pull the disc out of the ring when disc contracts more compared to the ring. That happens when the combination is cooled. So statement 1 is correct. So to pull the brass disc from a steel ring, which fits exactly into the combination, must be cooled. The statement 2 is the converse of the previous statement. If you have a steel disc which fits exactly into a brass ring, so here in this case, if the combination is suppose cooled, the brass ring which has greater value of alpha will contract more compared to the steel ring disc. That means there will be contraction or decrease in length or perimeter of brass ring will be more compared to the contraction or decrease in the perimeter of steel disc. So brass ring will contact more. So brass ring will fit more tightly into the steel disc when cooled, when allowed to cool. Therefore, you cannot pull out the steel disc from the brass ring by cooling the system. But when the system is heated, alpha for brass is more than alpha for steel. So increase in length, which you write all point original length in increase in temperature. For brass ring will be more than the increase in length for steel disc. That means increase in the perimeter of brass ring will be more than the increase in the perimeter or circumference of the steel disc when heated. Therefore, the brass ring will have a larger perimeter, means the steel disc becomes loose, can be taken out of the ring easily when the combination is heated. So, second statement is also correct. See the third statement. A metal meter scale has two holes at the two ends. When heated, distance between two holes decreases. That's the wrong statement. Because when a isotropic solid is heated, then distance between any two particles, this is one hole here on the left side, another hole here on the right side. A and B are the two nearest points of the holes. A is one point of the scale and B is another point of scale near the edges of the two holes. So when solid is heated, distance between any two particles of solid or points in the solid will increase. So separation L between the 2 points A and B will increase on heating, or you can say distance between the two holes increases. So statement 3 is wrong. Statement 1 and 2 are correct. Even statement 4 is also correct. You can read the statement 4. The holes of fish plates used to join the rails are oval to allow the expansion of rails. So these are the applications of expansion of solids which you are expected to know or remember. Therefore, statement 1, 2 and 4 are correct, but statement 3 is wrong. But you are asked to, which are the following statements wrong? That means the answer will be third option. So look at the next question, question number 12. When a copper ball is heated, largest percentage increase will occur in its volume. As I already discussed, when a regular uniform solid, isotropic solid is heated uniformly, percentage increase in its surface area is 2 times the percentage increase in the linear dimension, like diameter. But percentage increase in volume will be 3 times the percentage change in the length. So I will continue the discussion in my next class. And density will decrease with increase in temperature.